Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you the player ratings from Manchester United's 1-0 defeat to Wolves at Old Trafford. So I'm going to start with David De Gea. I'm going to give David De Gea a 7 out of 10. He made some good saves in the first half. The best save he made was from that Ruben Neves volley. De Gea couldn't really do much about Moutinho's winning goal. Last Thursday night against Burnley, De Gea had very little to do, but he could have been better positioned for Aaron Lennon's goal. Revert back to last Monday night against Newcastle. De Gea made several key saves in the second half. He saved us in that game. The best save he made against Newcastle was from Almiron towards the end. De Gea also saved Manchester United against Norwich back on the 11th of December last year. We are relying on De Gea far too much. But I've got to give De Gea credit, he's enduring a very good season and he is now back to his best. Earlier on this season, De Gea said he's planning to spend many more years at Manchester United. He's been a long servant at Man United. This season is his 11th season at the club. He's been with us since the Ferguson era. He's won everything domestically at the football club and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. De Gea's got under 2 years left on his contract and he receives £375,000 a week. Revert back to last summer, De Gea reclaimed the #1 spot back as he decided to cut short his holiday by 2 weeks. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he's going to get a 5 out of 10. I thought Bissaka endured a very poor game. His crossing was very poor and he lacked that attacking intent. It was Bissaka's second start under Ralph Rangnick. Bissaka wasn't that good last Thursday night against Burnley. He was solid defensively, but he lacked that attacking intent. I've got my reservations about Bissaka. This season is his third full season at Man United. Man United got Bissaka from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019 for 50 million. Don't forget last year, Bissaka got banned from driving for 6 months. And he got fined £31,500. Moving on to Rafael Varan. Varan is going to get a 4 out of 10. Varan was poor. He looked lethargic. And he was caught out of position a few times. It was Varane's second start since he come back from that hamstring injury. Varane didn't start against Burnley last Thursday night, surprisingly, but he did come on in the game. He played in the 1-1 draw against Newcastle and Varane was poor in that game because he misplaced passes. And he was the culprit for Newcastle's goal because he got dispossessed far too easily. Varane has already endured 2 injuries since Manchester United signed him. You know, he had a hamstring injury not so long ago. Revert back to earlier on this season, Varane had a groin injury and he was out with that groin injury for a few weeks. Manchester United got Varane in a deal worth 41 million with add-ons included. Manchester United paid around 34 million up front. He's got a contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further year. Varan has got a good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at Real Madrid, and he was also a long-serving player when he was at Real Madrid. He was with Real Madrid for over a decade. Moving on to Phil Jones. Phil Jones is going to get a 7 out of 10. Phil Jones was Manchester United's best player against Wolves. I thought Jones brought the ball out well from the back. Defensively, he was good. He made some good blocks and some good clearances. It was the first Premier League appearance Phil Jones had made since January 2020. The reason Jones was alongside Varan is because Maguire picked up an injury not so long ago. Phil Jones at one point was out with a knee injury for a while. Did you know that he's only the outfield player that's still with us from the Ferguson era? He's been a long-serving player at Man United. This season is his 11th season at the club. Jones, though, was to blame for Moutinho's goal. But apart from that, like I mentioned, good performance. There's a good chance that Jones will leave Man United this year. Moving on to Luke Shaw. He's going to get a 4 out of 10. Luke Shaw enjoyed a poor game. He wasn't too bad in the first half, Luke Shaw, but he was very poor in the second half. By the way, Luke Shaw got a yellow card in the game, so that means he is suspended for Man United's next league game, which is Aston Villa. Shaw played last Thursday night against Burnley. He put a very good performance out against Burnley. You know, he showed good attacking intent. He provided that width. He got into good positions. He also had a good chance against Burnley to score, hit the side net, and he also created that early chance for Ronaldo in the 5th minute against Burnley. The game against Burnley was Luke Shaw's best performance so far this season. Shaw's enjoyed a lot of bad games this season, and I'm shocked in that aspect because revert back to last season, Luke Shaw was superb. Shaw's enjoyed a couple of injuries this season. He is injury prone, which is a concern. Shaw's been at Manchester United for around 8 years, so he's been a long-serving player. Moving on to Matic. Matic is going to get a 6 out of 10. Matic was the one that created the clear-cut chance. Matic played against Burnley last Thursday night. There's a good chance that Matic will leave Manchester United this year. He isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he still seems to get his opportunities. And he's the only predominant centre defensive midfielder that Man United have got. I've always had my reservations about Matic because he's always been a static midfielder and he's ageing up, but he has had his good games at United. Matic has been at Man United for around 5 years. Man United got Matic from Chelsea back in 2017 for 40 million. Moving on to Scott McTominay. McTominay is going to get a 4 out of 10. You know, McTominay gave the ball away cheaply against Wolves. McTominay was man of the match in the game against Burnley last Thursday night. You know, he scored in that game against Burnley. It was a good composed finish from the edge of the box. It was McTominay's first goal since February. McTominay should have had more than one goal against Burnley, because he also had a chance when he hit the woodwork. He also had a chance in the second half of that game that produced a good fingertip save from Wayne Hennessy. McTominay is not good enough though to represent the club. He's been part of the club for a long time. Revert back to 2020, McTominay signed a 5-year contract with Manchester United, so reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. Moving on to Jaden Sancho. Jaden Sancho is going to get a 4 out of 10. Sancho enjoyed a poor game. I thought Jaden Sancho's decision making was poor. You know, in the first half, Sancho could have played Ronaldo in, but he decided not to. You know, Sancho's done nowhere near as well at Manchester United as a lot of Manchester United fans expected. But it does take some players time to settle in. Don't get me wrong, he's had some good games at Man United as Jaden Sancho. Sancho was quite good last Thursday night against Burnley. You know, he pretty much scored, but obviously it got put down as an own goal by Ben Mee because Sancho struck it and it got deflected off Ben Mee. You know, Sancho played well in the game against Palace earlier on this season. He did well in the first half, but weren't so good in the second half. I think the best game Sancho has enjoyed since he come to Man United was the games against Chelsea away and Villarreal away. You know, Sancho scored in both of them games. He's only scored 2 goals for the club so far in all competitions. Revert back to when we had Solskjaer. You know, Solskjaer persistently played Sancho out of position, and there was quite a few games Sancho didn't even play in under Solskjaer. Sancho did enjoy 4 very good years at Borussia Dortmund before he came to Manchester United. Man United got Sancho in a deal worth £78 million with add-ons included. Man United paid around £73 million up front. He's got a contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. Moving on to Mason Greenwood. I'm going to give Mason Greenwood a 7 out of 10. You know, he did look bright in the first half hour of the game. You know, he got in some good positions as well. I can't understand why Mason Greenwood got took off in the game by Ralph Rangnick. I thought Greenwood was our best attacking player. Was it against Newcastle last Monday night? I think Greenwood has done pretty well though since he recovered from COVID. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a long time, and last season he did sign a 4-year contract with Man United. Revert back to 2019, Manchester United offered Mason Greenwood a life-changing amount of money for him to leave. Earlier on this season, Greenwood did say that he was upset that Ronaldo always starts. Moving on to Edison Cavani, he's going to get a 3 out of 10. You know, I thought Cavani was poor. He was anonymous in the game. Cavani obviously played last Thursday night against Burnley. Led the line well in that one, but didn't really create anything. He rescued a point for Man United in the 1-1 draw against Newcastle because he came off the bench in that game and scored. It was a fortuitous goal. Prior to the game, Rangnick said in his press conference that he's desperate for Edison Cavani to stay at Manchester United until the end of the season. Cavani's contract at Man United expires in the summer. Cavani's been linked with Barcelona. Towards the end of last year, it said Cavani agreed to join Barcelona on an 18-month contract. Barcelona are seeing Cavani as a replacement for Aguero because last year Aguero retired due to heart problems. Not so long ago, Barcelona signed Ferran Torres. Juventus have been in for Cavani, and don't forget last year, Edison Cavani rejected a move to Boca Juniors. Manchester United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Cristiano Ronaldo, he's going to get a 4 out of 10. Ronaldo was poor against Wolves. Ronaldo did score, but it got ruled out for offside. And there was one moment in the game where Ronaldo headed it back and it went straight to Raul Jimenez, so that could have been costly. Obviously Ronaldo was trying to head it back to the goalkeeper, but it went to Raul Jimenez mistakenly. Ronaldo obviously played last Thursday against Burnley. He obviously scored in that game. That was his 14th goal since he re-signed for the club, and he's got 804 goals in his career. Ronaldo should have had more than one goal though against Burnley. Don't forget he had that chance in the 5th minute. He was one-on-one with Wayne Hennessy, put it over the bar. He had numerous other opportunities. I thought in the 1-1 draw against Newcastle, Ronaldo was poor as well because he didn't create one single chance in that game. Could have been sent off as well against Newcastle for that challenge on Ryan Fraser, but he did get a yellow card. Now, last week, Ronaldo came out and said that I'm not happy at Manchester United. Obviously, he's been upset with Man United's poor performances. But Ronaldo's agent, Jorge Mendes, came out and said that Ronaldo is happy at Manchester United. Basically, Ronaldo's demanding more from Manchester United this year. Revert back towards the end of last year, it said that Ronaldo had major concerns over Ralph Rangnick's methods at Manchester United. Ronaldo is the best player in the world overall. He's won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. He's got a contract with Man United until 2023. There's an option of a further year. He receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United at the moment. Ronaldo wears a number 7 shirt, and Man United got Ronaldo for 19.8 million, with add-ons included. Substitutions got brought on We saw Marcus Rashford come on. I thought Rashford was very poor when he come on. Rashford's going to get a 4 out of 10. You know, Rashford's been very, very poor since he come back from that shoulder problem. You know, he hasn't been the same player. Rashford missed the first 2 months of the season with that shoulder problem. Revert back to earlier on in the season, reports from Spain said that Marcus Rashford could leave Man United as Barcelona and PSG were said to be interested. Rashford's got around 17 months left on his current contract. Bruno Fernandez, he also came on in the game. I'll give Fernandez a 6 out of 10. Fernandez had 2 fantastic chances. The first chance, Fernandez hit the crossbar from close range. He should have definitely scored that. And he had the chance from the free kick right at the end that produced a good save from Jose Sa. Fernandez obviously didn't play last Thursday against Burnley because Fernandez was suspended because Fernandez got his 5th yellow card of the season in the 1-1 draw against Newcastle. But Bruno Fernandes is enduring a very poor season, and I'm shocked in that aspect because revert back to last season, Fernandes was very, very good. You know, Fernandes has been a Manchester United player for around 2 years now, is it? Man United got him from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. He's won awards at Manchester United, Fernandes, reflecting on his good performances. And earlier on this season, Fernandes made it clear that he wants to stay at Manchester United. And when he first come to Man United, he said, "I've come to Manchester to win trophies." He's got a contract with the club until 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. And the other substitute we brought on against Wolves was Anthony Elanga. I'll just give him a 5 out of 10. Anthony Elanga has made quite a few first team appearances now. Last year, Elanga signed a new contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. Elanga joined Manchester United's academy at the age of 12. So anyway, that is your player ratings for Manchester United's 1-0 defeat to Wolves. But yeah, it was a very poor performance by Manchester United. And I've got to give Wolves credit. They deserved the victory. You know, Wolves were very good. You know, they kept the ball well. They passed the ball well. Defensively, they was good as well. And they created some very good chances. They had quite a lot of good performers, did Wolves. I thought Daniel Podence played very well for Wolves. He had some good chances. Raul Jimenez also was dangerous. Ruben Neves and Moutinho controlled that midfield well. Nelson Semedo, he did very well defensively. He was causing all sorts of problems on that right hand side. Conor Cody and Romain Saiz did very well. Romain Saiz hit the crossbar in the second half. So there you go, the winning goal came from Moutinho. Well taken goal, to be fair. It was the first time Wolves won at Old Trafford in the league for 42 years. and it was Ralph Rangnick's first defeat as Manchester United manager. Let me put into the equation, Wolves were missing players. Obviously, there was no Pedro Neto. You know, he's out with injury. There was no Hwan Hee-chan. Hwan Hee-chan is out with injury at the moment. Hwan Hee-chan is on loan at Wolves from RB Leipzig. There was no Johnny either. You know, Johnny's out with injury. They were also missing Nouri. He's out with injury. Willy Boly, he's out with injury as well. He doesn't really get in the Wolves team much though. And they were also missing Yerson Mosquera. He's also out with injury. You know, the Wolves manager is Bruno Lager. He's been Wolves manager now for around 6 months. Bruno Lager got appointed in last year. Back in June last year. Bruno Lager's got a contract with Wolves until 2024. Before Wolves, he managed Benfica, did Bruno Lager. Before Bruno Lager, Wolves had Nuno Espirito Santo. I thought Wolves were very consistent under Nuno Espirito Santo. Nuno Espirito Santo was Wolves manager for quite a few years, and when he managed Wolves, he got Wolves back-to-back 7th place finishes in the Premier League. He also got Wolves to the FA Cup semi-final for the first time in 21 years. Nuno Espirito Santo left Wolves at the end of last season. Earlier on this season, Santo got sacked by Tottenham. He only enjoyed a very short tenure at Tottenham. He was only in charge of Tottenham for around 4 months. And let me put into the equation, back in 2020, Wolves lost Diego Jota. That was a bad blow for Wolves. They also lost Matt Doherty to Tottenham. And I think they also loaned that Willian Jose out. Manchester United beat Wolves at Old Trafford last season 1-0. But Man United were lucky to win that game. It was a late goal from Marcus Rashford. You know, Man United won at Molineux 1-0 earlier on this season. We was lucky to win that game because I thought Wolves dominated that one. The goal at Molineux came from Mason Greenwood. Man United are missing some players, but not many. So obviously we've got Maguire out with injury now. Bailly's injured because he came off injured in the 3-1 win against Burnley. Bailly's on international duty. Lindelof, he's still out with COVID. Pogba, he's still out with a muscle injury. And Martial's still out with injury, but he doesn't really get in the team anyway. Manchester United's next game is Aston Villa next Monday night in the FA Cup 3rd round. So yeah, and after it's Villa in the league. Luke Shaw and McTominay are both suspended for that game. I forgot to mention McTominay getting a yellow card yesterday against Wolves. So I just want to update again, yes, McTominay is suspended for the game against Villa in the league. You know the news on the transfers and that. Manchester United have been relentlessly linked with Julian Alvarez recently. Now it says Julian Alvarez's agent is travelling to England for Manchester United talks. Man United have already contacted the agent of Julian Alvarez. Manchester United are prepared to pay the £17 million release clause to sign Alvarez. There's a very good chance that Alvarez will be the first signing of the Ralf Rangnick era. Alvarez is at River Plate. He's been at River Plate for a long time. His contract at River Plate expires this year. He's mainly a forward. He can also operate as a winger. He's only the age of 21, so still young, got a lot of development in him. Yesterday, I gave you the news on Dennis Zakaria. It said that Manchester United won Dennis Zakaria from Borussia Mönchengladbach. Sport Bild said that Borussia Mönchengladbach are willing to sell Dennis Zakaria for £6 million this month. So Manchester United, Liverpool, Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich have all inquired about signing Dennis Zakaria, and Aston Villa have also entered the race. He's predominantly a defensive midfielder, is Dennis Zakaria. He's been at Borussia Mönchengladbach since 2017, so he's been with them for around 5 years, and his contract expires at the end of the season. Borussia Mönchengladbach paid around £10 million for him from Young Boys. And there's a lot of other players that Man United have been linked with as well. You know the news on Declan Rice. It says Man United are confident of landing Declan Rice for £100 million in the summer. He says West Ham's disappointing December has given Manchester United a huge boost in the chances of signing Declan Rice. Jude Bellingham, Man U have been linked with him. Bellingham has been a long-term target for Manchester United. You know, we've been relentlessly linked with Amadou Haidara. In recent weeks, Man United have been linked with Boubacar Kamara from Marseille. Towards the end of last year, Man United were linked with Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen. We've been linked with Rudiger from Chelsea. We've been linked with Frankie de Jong from Barcelona. So many players Man United have been in for. When Rangnick first came in, though, he identified Manchester United's midfield as a weakness. Rangnick's made it clear that he wants a centre defensive midfielder. I'm expecting Man United to probably just make one signing in this January transfer window, because Romano's already made it clear that Man United's main focus on new signings is the summer, not January. So there'll be more outgoings this month than incomings, I can assure that. Rangnick's been given around £75 million to spend. By the way, I just want to update you that Tiedemann Mengi has gone out on loan to Birmingham for the remainder of the season, and Ethan Laird is going to Bournemouth. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.